Good morning, guys. So I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible. Here, I'm going to try to make this a quick 15-minute video, if not less. So let's go ahead and get started. Pause as you need so that you can get all the questions down, okay? All right. So here, let's go ahead and take a look at number one. Number one says that based on the graph, which car brands represented 60% of sales, okay? So here, the first thing that I like to do is I like to write the number on the top of each little bar. So this would be 18, this one would be 15, 21, and 6. Next thing that we need to do is we need to add up all of them so that we know exactly what our total is. Okay, so here that would be 6 plus 6, which would be 12. 12 plus 8 would be 20, I believe. Let's just check that real quick. My brain's a little bit muddled this morning. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so 12 plus 8 would be 20. So here, this is what we have. And then 4, 5, 6. So that would be a total of 60. Okay, so yesterday in class for 7th period, I showed y'all two different ways. I'm going to do this one in black real quick. But here, if we were looking at just brand A and brand B, okay, we would add 18 plus 15. 18 plus 15 added together would be 33. Put that right here over the total X out of 100. And here, what we would do in this case is we would cross multiply 60 times 100, or 60 times X equals 33 times 100, okay? And that would be 3,300. You divide by 60, you get your answer. If it is going to be 60%, then you got the correct answer. However, there's an easier way to do that, and I'm going to do this over here, down here, okay? So you still do a proportion, but this time, instead of having to do a proportion for each answer choice, you do one proportion. I know that the total is 60. I know that we want to find out 60% out of 100%, okay? So what we need to find out is the part that is the 60%, okay? So here, we're going to do 100 times X, which is 100X, equals 60 times 60. I know that 6 times 6 is 36. Add the two zeros and then divide by 100. So here what I get is 36. So that means that this is 36. Now I can come over here to all of the brand A's, or brand answer choices. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them. I already know that brand A and brand B is 33 because I just did that, right? That means that that is not the correct answer because we need it to be 36. Let's look at brand A and brand C. Okay, so brand A and brand C is going to be 18 plus 21. That is going to be 39. That is also not correct. We need it to be 36. Let's look at B and C. B is 15. 21 is C. That is going to be 36. We have found our answer. Our answer is C because 15 plus 21 is 36. And we have found out that 36 is what we need it to be. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2, it says that John had 2 bags containing Scrabble letters below. Okay, there's a total in each one of these of 5 and 5 here. Okay, now it's saying what is the probability of drawing a vowel from both of the bags. Now you guys know in my class that I like for us to write the probability statement. So in this case it would be probability of vowel, then vowel. Now I have told you that I don't expect you to write this, but it does help you to understand how many events you have, which then in turn tells you how many fractions you need. So in this case, there's 2 fractions, or 2 events, so that means you will have 2 fractions, okay? All right, so now, again, we have a total of 5 in each of these, And these are going to be independent because you're taking out of one bag and then you're going to take out of the second bag. Out of the first bag, we have A, E, and U. Because remember, A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. And in the second bag, we have E and O. So let's come back over here. 3 out of 5 in the first one. And then in the second bag, 2 out of 5. We cannot simplify, so we can only top times top, bottom times bottom. That is going to give us 6/25. Okay? And this is our final answer. All right, let's move on to number 3. Remember, pause if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. All right. A classroom is arranged in 6 seats in the front row, 8 seats in the middle row, and 10 seats in the back row. The teacher randomly assigns seats to students as they enter. What is the probability that the first student who enters will be assigned in the middle row? So, the probability statement for this one would be probability middle row. Okay, so that's just one fraction. So that means one fraction line. Let's go ahead and add up all of these. So that would be 10 plus 8 plus 6. 18 plus 6 would be 24. So the bottom denominator is 24. The top will be the 8 seats that are in the middle row. And here, I know that I can divide 24 by 8. So I'm going to divide both by 8. That will give me 1/3. That is the final answer for number 3. Let's look at number 4. Now, number 4, again, I like to write the number next to the bar. So 2, 4, 6, 10, and 8. And then the first thing that I want to do is I want to add up all of these so that I know my total. Okay, so 10 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2. I know that 6 plus 4 is 10, plus this 10 up here is 20, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so here we do, let me go back over here. We do have to write a proportion because the sentence up here says what percentage of the students selected bird. So all we're looking at is birds, okay? But here, we have to find the percentage. Remember, this is the percent side because the fraction or the proportion that we're trying to set it up as is part, I don't want to write this here. Hold on, guys. It would be part over whole and then percent out of 100. Okay? So 100 goes here. I do not know the percent. I need to find that. The part, which is just the bird, is 6/30. So now I'm going to cross multiply. So that would actually be 30 times x, which would be 30x equals 6 times 100. So that would be 600. And then I can divide by 30. I can actually take one pair of zeros out. So then all I have to do is divide 60 divided by 3. 3 can go into 6 2 times. And then 0, so that would actually be 20%. Okay, this is our final answer. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Pause if you have to get this down. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next page. All right, number 5. How many more students chose pizza than they chose salad? Okay, so when you have how many more, remember that is subtraction. So here it says if survey had 80 students at a picnic, if they surveyed 80 students at a picnic. So I see here that all of my sections have a percent, so we're good there. All we have to do is write a proportion box, okay? But before we do that, it says how many more. So what I am doing is I'm taking pizza and I'm taking salad and I'm subtracting the 2. Okay, so that would be 20%. Okay. Now, here, what I have to do next is I have to do a proportion box. Okay, that would be 20% out of 100. And then here I need to find out what that part is out of the 80 students. Okay. So 100 times x, which is going to be 100x, equals to 80 times 20. I know that 8 times 2 is 16, so this is actually going to be 1600. I divide by 100. I get x is equal to 16, okay? So, oops, I did not mean to do that. I meant to highlight it. This is our answer here. So, another way that we can write this is that 16 more students chose pizza, okay? A coin is tossed 4 times. Let's look at number 6. A coin is tossed 4 times. What is the probability of landing on heads all 4 times? So there is 4 coins. So what I like to do on this is I like to write coin 1, coin 2, coin 3, coin 4. Coin 1, that is going to be 1/2, because 1 out of 2 chances you will land on heads. Okay, coin 2, 1/2, coin 3, 1/2, coin 4, 1/2. Okay, so here, now all you have to do is top times top, bottom times bottom. So our answer is going to be 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 times 4 is going to be 16. So our final answer is 1/16. All right, pause if you have to. I'm going to go to 7. All right, so here Violet tosses 3 coins at the same time. She tosses the 3 coins 20 times. Here we have this experimental here, okay? This is experimental probability. All that means is that it is going to be something that was done. Oops. Okay? It's not something that was theoretical. It happened. We did it. We took results out of the things that we did. Okay? So what was the probability of landing 3 heads? What was the probability of landing 2 heads and 1 tail? 1 head and 2 tails, and then 3 tails. Okay? So first thing that we need to do is we need to add the total. Okay? How many times was this done? So here, 6 plus 4 is 10, 18, 19, 20. We also have it right here, okay? So, it's always good to read, but if you didn't, always make sure you count up your total, okay? Now, it's tossing 1 tail and 2 heads. Be careful when you read this. I know that I did this in 7th period, okay? But we did catch it. On the question, it says 1 tail and 2 heads. 1 tail, 2 heads. It has it backwards on the actual table, so please be careful with that, okay? This is just one fraction, okay? And here it's a total of 20, and then there is 6 times that they landed on 2 heads and 1 tail. Can we divide? Yes, we can. We divide by 2, okay? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 20 divided by 2 is 10. This is our answer, okay? All right, let's take a look at number 8. Number 8 is from Unit 11, talking about data analysis, okay? So a farmer plants crops on 48 acres of land. How many acres of land are used for corn? So if we look at this circle graph, I see that it has cotton 40%, wheat 20%, other is 10%, but I don't have corn. So what I have to do is I have to add 40 plus 20 plus 10, 4, 5, 6, 70, and then subtract 70 from 100 because a full circle graph will add up to 100. And I know that this is going to be 30%. Okay? So, there's 2 ways to do this, okay? The first way is a proportion box. We're trying to find the part. We know that we have 30% out of 100, and the total is 48 acres. So here, 100 times x equals 100x. 48 times 30, I'm going to do this right here. 0, 0, 0. 3 times 8 is 24, I believe. And then 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. So we get 1440, and then we divide by 100. We can take off one set of zeros, and we still have 10 here. So we can use the zero trick. Oops, that's my timer. We can go into the left once because we have 1 0. So that means that x is equal to 14.4, okay, acres of land for corn. There we go. Okay, the second way that we can do this is simply taking the 30% and changing it to a decimal, and then taking 48, because that's the total amount of acres, and multiplying that by 0.3. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. Add that decimal where it belongs, one place to the, like, one digit over. So you would still have 14.4 acres of land for corn. Okay, so there you have your two ways that you can do that. Pause if you need to. I'm going to go to number 9. Sorry. Number 9 says which statement is best supported by the information in the dot plot. So here, I'm going to do this with 4 different colors, okay, so that we can show the difference between each answer choice, okay? They have a different mode. Mode is going to be the most, okay? So here, if I look at population A, mode is going to be 15. In population 1, population 2 is also going to be 15. They are both 15. They are not different weights, so it cannot be A, because we're looking for the one that best supports it. Okay, let's look at B. They have different medians. So with different medians, on your test, you're going to have to write these numbers out. What does that look like? Well, 12, 13, 13, 13, and you keep going like this, okay? On your paper, that's how you would do it. On here, because we have them, you can just cross out from each side until you get to the middle numbers. Okay, so this is what it would look like. And we would get 15 here, okay? On the next one, we would get, let's see. When you write your numbers down on your own paper on the test, make sure that you do cross off. So here it would also be 15. I think I might have skipped one, but it's still 15. Okay, so here it is 15. They are not different, so it cannot be B. Now let's look at the skews. So if we look at the skews, they're kind of even. There's 1 on each side, 4 over here, 4 here, 4 here. See, I'm looking at this. There's 4, 4, 4, and then these right here. So it's pretty even. This is pretty even too. Okay, so they are not different skews. They're actually the same. They are both symmetrical. Okay, all right. That means it clearly has to be answer choice D. But let's look at that just to make sure that we can verify it for sure, okay? So remember, range is going to be maximum minus minimum. Okay, so what we're going to do is for population 1, we are going to do 18 minus 12. That is going to be 6. Population 2 is going to be 19 minus 11. That is going to be 8. They do have different skews. This is correct. So that means that yes, it is answer choice D. The others did not work. Okay. All right. Pause if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 10. Okay, so this is another probability question. Number 9 was a data analysis question. So here, May has a number 1 through 6 number cube and a spinner like the one shown below. Okay, so the number cube has numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This here has a total. Now, this has a total of 6. this has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now it's important to take note of this because we need to write this for the denominator of our fractions, right? Here it's asking for the probability of landing on an even number and then a purple on the spinner. So again, I do like to write my probability statements so that I know how many fractions I need. Even, then purple. That means I have 2 fractions. So 1, 2. Okay, the denominator for the first one is going to be 6. The denominator for the second one is 8. For the spinner, landing on an even, okay, that is going to be 2, 4, 6. That means there's 3 out of the 6. To land on purple, that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now all I have to do is make sure that I can simplify the fractions first. So that is going to be divided by 3 here, divided by 4 here. 3 divided by 3 is going to give me 1. 6 divided by 3 is half. And I know that also because 3 is half of 6. Same thing with 4/8. 4 is half of 8, so it would be 1/2, which in turn, top times top, bottom times bottom, that is just going to be 1/4. So the answer is 1/4. All right. Here, pause if you need to. I'm going to go to the next page. All right. 11. The spinner is spun twice. Okay. What is the probability? Excuse me. What is the probability the arrow will land on an unshaded section both times? Again, I like to write my probability statement. So probability of unshaded, then unshaded. Now this isn't independent because we're spinning it and we're not taking anything out, right? So here, let's count how many total sections there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there is a total of 12, okay? Now, there's 2 events, so that means we need 2 fractions, okay? And here, the denominator for both of them is going to be 12. Now we're looking at how many of them are shaded. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 out of 12, 4 out of 12, okay? Now I gotta divide, or I gotta simplify both fractions, not just divide, but simplify. Okay, so I can divide this one by 4, I can divide this one by 4. So that means what I'll have is 1/3, because 12 divided by 4 is 3, 4 divided by 4 is 1, times 1/3. And my final answer, let me move this a little bit this way. So my final answer is going to be 1 times 1, which is 1, and then 3 times 3, which is 9. So my final answer is 1/9. Okay. Number 12. Which statement correctly compares the 2 dot plots? So again, this is one that I'm going to do in 4 different colors so we can look at each different answer choice, okay? Median. That's the middle number. With dot plots on your actual test, you're going to write the numbers out and then you're going to cross off from each side until you get to the middle number or middle numbers. Okay, so here, all right, I'm going to use this, but we're going to cross off on each side until we get to the middle numbers. And I see that we're kind of in between these two. So 5 and 6. So 5 plus 6, which is 11. Let me see if I did that right. Hold on 1 second. Let me try. No, it's correct. Okay. I'm going to actually try it again because in class I feel like I did it and it came out to something different. Okay. It is these two. Okay, so 5 and 6. And then when you have two different numbers like this, you want to add them up, and then you want to divide by 2. So I know that 11 divided by 2 is going to be 5.5. Okay, so the median for this one is 5.5. Let's take a look at the other one. So here, crossing off on each side, this is a little bit time consuming, but I promise you, you get the answer correct if you do it right. And this one is 6. Okay, so clearly those two are not the same. So guys, in class, I didn't realize it was hard to see because I could not get my face closer to it. Here I'm literally up on my iPad. It's not A, okay? They are not going to be the same. We clearly know that group 1 is going to be 5.5, whereas group 2 is going to be 6, okay? Sorry about that in 7th period, okay? All right, modes. Mode is going to be the most. So here that is actually going to be, let's see, 5 here. And this one is going to be 7. It says that they are same. No, they are not, because it is going to be 5 and 7. Okay, the ranges. That is going to be maximum minus minimum. So if we look at the range here, that is going to be 10 minus 1, which is 9. And this one is going to be 10 minus 1, which is a 9. Okay, so they are both the same. They are both 9. Are they both symmetrical? No. If I look at this is kind of more skewed right, and this one is more skewed. They're not the same. They're not symmetrical. They don't look symmetrical to me, okay? So wrong on that one. Okay. All right, so our answer on this one is actually going to be C. Okay, in class we said A or C. We already found out because I was able to look at it a lot better. It is not A. It is just C. Okay, let's look at number 13. Which statement is best supported by the information in the box plots? Again, this is another one that I want to do in 4 different colors. The range of men 20 to 40 years old is less than the range of men. So we're talking about range, which range is going to be maximum minus minimum. So that means for 20 to 40 years old, that is going to be 170 minus 90. Okay. 0 here. I know that 17 minus 9 is going to be 8. So this is 80 here for this one, for the 20 to 40. Now 50 to 70, that is going to be 145 minus 75, 0, and then 14 minus 7 is 70. So this is 70 here. So it says it's less. That's false. Okay, so it cannot be A. Let's look at B. The median of the men 20 to 40 years old is less than that of the median for men 50 to 70 years old. So 20 to 40, that's going to land on 130. Okay, so 130 here, and then 50 to 70 is at 110. Okay, and 130 is not going to be less than 110. So it cannot be B either. Let's look at C. The minimum for 20 to 40 is 90. The minimum for 50 to 70 is right here in the middle, so that is 75. And again, 90 is not going to be less than 75. So it cannot be C either. Let's now look at the last one. We're talking about IQR. Remember, IQR is Q3 minus Q1. Okay, so here 20 to 40, that is going to be, let's see, we're looking here, 150 minus 110. 0, 5 minus 1 is 40, okay? And then 50 to 70, that is going to be 125 minus 95. 0 here, 10, 11, 12, 30. So here it says that the IQR for 20 to 40 is greater than that for the 50 to 70. 40 definitely is greater than 30. So D, answer choice D is the answer. All right, let's look at 14. At an assembly, 7 out of 10 students who enter the gym were carrying a backpack. Based on the information, if 700 students were at the assembly, how many students could be expected to be carrying a backpack? So this is a prediction question, but it's an easy one, okay? It's giving you that you need to have the total. So remember, it's part to whole. It's the number out of the prediction. Okay, actually, let me write that differently. What did we say in class it was? We said it was the first event, okay? And in this case, the first event would be, let's say the first person walks in, or like, you know, out of the 10 students, how many of them are carrying a backpack? Okay, this side right here is going to be the prediction number. Okay, the prediction number is 700 students. I'm going to write 700 here. Okay, and I'm going to put an X above that because I want to know how many out of the 700. If 7 out of the 10 are carrying a backpack. Okay, now what you're going to do is 10 times X, which is 10X, equals 7 times 700. I know that 7 times 7 is 49. I add those two zeros, divide by 10, so I get X is equal to 490. Okay, so out of the 700, there will be 490 students that will be carrying a backpack. Okay, this is our answer right here. Let me go back and let me highlight this one and highlight this one. Okay, pause if you need to. I'm going to go to the next page, and this is the last page. Okay, so number 15. The spinner is divided into 10 sections. The spinner is spun 3 times. So what is the probability that the arrow will land on a section with an odd number on all 3 times? Okay, remember, probability statements help us know how many fractions we need. So it says 3 times. So we need an odd, I can't spell, y'all, then odd. How many fractions is that? That is 3 fractions. Okay, it's already telling us how many sections there are. There's 10, and I also see 10 numbers on that. And it's asking for an odd. So let's circle all of the odds. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 10 numbers. All of them will have 10 for the denominator, okay? And all of them will have 5. Now, in spinners, it's going to be the same because we're going to spin it no matter what. We're not going to take anything out, right? So, can we simplify any of these fractions? I look at it, I know that I can divide by 5 here, divide by 5 here, divide by 5 here. So my fractions will actually become 5 divided by 5, which is 1, 10 divided by 5, which is 2. And I also know that because 5 is half of 10. So 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. Now I can do top times top, bottom times bottom. So that would give me an answer of 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. So 1/8 is my answer. Done. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's look at number 16. Which statement is best supported by the information? I'm going to use different colors for this one so we can see the answer choices differently. The IQR for player X is equal to the IQR for player Y. Okay, down here, I'm going to do IQR. Okay, and the reason why is because IQR we're subtracting, okay? That is going to be Q3. Oops. Q3 minus Q1. Okay, so down here I'm going to do player X and player Y. Okay, so player X is going to be 6.5 minus 4.5. I know that 5 minus 5 is 0. 6 minus 4 is going to be 2. Okay, so that means that the IQR for player X is 2. Now let's look at Y's. Y's is 5.0 minus 4.0. Okay, so here that is just going to be 5 minus 4, which is 1. Okay, so let's look at answer choice A. Answer choice A says IQR for player X is equal. These are not equal. Okay, if we're going to compare them, 2 is going to be greater than 1. Okay, so X is greater than Y. So they are not equal. A cannot be the answer. Let's look at B. B says player X, we've already done the IQRs, is greater than 1. And that is true. Okay, it is greater. Okay, do we have to continue? No. Am I going to? Yes, because I want you to see the difference, okay? Median for player Y, for player X, excuse me, is at 5, okay? So X is 5. Now Y is going to be at 4.5, okay? So 4.5, and it says that they are equal. They are not equal, okay? The median for player X is less. That is also not true. 5 is greater than 4.5. Okay. All right. Let's continue to the next question. And I'm actually going to skip one. Here, we are going to be skipping number 17. Let's not do that one. You're missing an answer choice, which would have been your answer. So we're just going to skip it. All right. Let's go to the last question. Talking about Juanita. Here's a fun fact. If you did this, maybe you'll get 2 extra bonus points. Okay. Juanita is my mama's name. Okay. So if you know, write it on your test paper. Juanita is your mom's name. Okay. So here, let's go ahead and get started with this fun fact of the day. Okay. Juanita has a bag containing 6. Whoa. Let's backtrack. 6 red, 8 blue, 5 green, 9 yellow, and 2 white marbles that are all the same size. What is the probability of randomly choosing a white marble on the first pick, not replacing it, and then randomly choosing a green marble on the second pick? All right, let's write a proportion. Or not a proportion, our probability statement. Probability of white not replace, so not REP, then green. I have 1, 2. The big thing that you need to understand with not replaced is those denominators are going to change. Okay, let's go ahead and add up our numbers. So 9 plus 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6. So I know 9, 10, 11. Okay. Sorry. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 5 is going to be 16. plus 8 is going to be 24, plus 6 is going to be 30. So there is a total of 30 bags or 30 marbles in that bag. Okay, so we need two fractions because there is two events. The first fraction is going to have a denominator of 30. It says not replace. So this one, the second one, I cannot write anything yet. First, I have to find out what my probability of getting white is, and that is going to be 2 out of 30. Okay, the second thing is green. So the numerator doesn't get affected. Okay, the numerator for this one, there's still 5 green, but there is no longer 30 because I took one of the whites out because I already picked it. Okay, so now that's 29. All right, now let's see if we can simplify any of these. If I look, I can actually simplify this one because I can take 30 divided by 2 and I'll get 15. So here, this one would actually be 1/15. Can I simplify 5/29? Well, I know that if I try to divide 29 divided by 5, I'm going to get a decimal. So that one stays the same. Now all I have to do is top times top, bottom times bottom. So the top would be 5 because 1 times 5 is 5. And the bottom I have to multiply 15 times 29. I know that 5 times 9 is going to be 45. 1 times 9 is 9 plus 4 is going to be 13. 0 here. 5 times 2 is 10. And then 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So this would be 435. Okay. Oops. All right. Now, can we simplify this any further? Well, I see that they both end in 5. So what if I just divide by 5, friends? So that would be actually 1. And then I have to come over here and divide 435 divided by 5. 5 can go into 43. 8 times. Okay, so that would be 40. And then into 35, 7 times. So the answer is actually going to be 1/87. All right, friends, we are done with this finally. I appreciate you sticking it out with me till the very end of this and dealing with me coughing and sniffling and all that stuff. I apologize. This video is actually pretty terrible in my opinion, but thank you. I hope that y'all study really hard for this test. If you in 7th period do not get to finish, remember that you will have the chance to finish if you come in either before school or after school. Okay? All right. Please come in. Please do those exit tickets online. Email me if you do those exit tickets online. Okay? Bye. Have a good day.